Welcome to the Team Ottawa podcast with Mayor Mark Sutcliffe. I'm Sam Laprade. And Mayor, it was Canada Day yesterday. It was quite a Canada Day.
It was. And, it started off great. And look, Canada Day is always so special in Ottawa. It's the best place in the world to be on July the 1st, I always say. And I started out the day with the seniors breakfast, where we welcome 900 to 1,000 seniors to a breakfast. And among them are couples who are celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. So Ginny and I got to meet them, and I asked them for some advice, just how to keep going. We're at almost 18 years.
Wow.
So still a long way to go to 50. But that was wonderful. It was such a nice atmosphere. And then I went to 7 or 8 other events in the community, in places like Barrhaven and Orleans and everywhere in between, Osgood, and many other places. And when we got to Orleans, and by the way, it was, as everybody knows, it was extremely hot, but it was manageable. There were people with little spritzer bottles who would help you cool off. There was everybody was handing out water. It was great. It was a great way to celebrate Canada Day. And then when we were in Orleans, these dark clouds started forming, and people were kind of looking up and saying, what's going to happen? And as we left Orleans, the skies opened up. And I know the first reaction a lot of people had, because we've been through this before on Canada Day. I remember a day a few years ago where I was downtown and it just started pouring, and everybody kind of rushed into the Rideau Center,
Right.
and hung out there for an hour and came back out afterwards. And so I think everybody's first reaction was, maybe this will just blow over. And we'll get back to celebrating Canada Day. But very quickly it became apparent this was an astonishing amount of rain. And the thing that I keep pointing to, the previous record for rainfall on July the 1st was 59 millimeters. Yesterday, we got 118 millimeters of rain.
Wow.
So double the record amount. So not just a record amount, but twice the record amount of rainfall in a very short period of time. So, of course, many homes were flooded. The storm caused trees to be knocked over, and the power went out for about 30,000 customers. And right away, our team at the City of Ottawa, our amazing team, pivoted from serving the community from the perspective of Canada Day to serving the community from the perspective of an extreme weather event, an emergency. So they were deployed, and they started helping everyone in the community.
And we saw people, you can see on socials, do I call 311? Do I go fill out the form online? On the City of Ottawa website, lots of questions early on, but the team was there and mobilized.
Yeah, and look, because it all happened so fast, if you were calling 311, there was a high call volume in a very short period of time. So we encourage people to go fill out the form online. You can do so. You can still do it if you haven't already at myserviceottawa.com. So I should just say My Service Ottawa. I don't know if it's at the ottawa.ca website, My Service Ottawa. And we were working our way down the list and trying to get to every person who's been affected. This has affected a few thousand people in our community who are either still without power, or their basements are flooded, or there are trees down in their yard, or other circumstances. We're getting to as many of them as we can as quickly as possible. Our emergency service teams have been deployed, and the folks at Hydro Ottawa, I mentioned there were, I think, 30,000 people without power last night. They've got, as of now, as we record this, they've got it down to 5,000 or 6,000. They'll continue to work down that list. And we're going to have other measures in place to support people who are impacted by this.
And to your point, not even 24 hours later, you have already put some things in place. Can you walk me through some of that so we can share that with our residents today?
I spoke with a number of city councilors last night in the affected areas, and I spoke with some residents as well. And so, first of all, for anybody whose basement has been flooded and you're dealing with damaged drywall, or you're dealing with damaged goods, and you want to get that out of your house as quickly as possible, we're going to lift the restriction on the number of items you can put on the curb, so that you can dispose of anything you need to dispose of. We're also looking at extra collection days, so that, I know in one neighborhood in College Ward, their garbage collection day was today. So, they weren't ready to put everything out and they don't want to wait 2 weeks. So we're going to try to figure out a way to have an extra collection day in the next week or so that they can put their damaged items out and have that taken care of. We're also looking at when people get to the point of working with their insurance company and then reinvesting in repairing their basements or restoring or renovating their damaged basements, of waiving the building permit fees so that they don't have to pay that and that they can move as quickly as possible to do that. We're going to bring a motion forward to our next city council meeting on that. And then there are some neighborhoods and some buildings that are, the power was so severely damaged for one reason or another that it's going to take some time to restore. So we're opening up emergency shelters and we're opening up recreation centers so people can go there and have a shower and access other resources. So we're responding to the community. We're hearing what people need and we're trying to deliver as much as we can as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. And there's so many thank yous, of course, Mayor, that I'm sure you want to share with everyone. Everyone moved so quickly, and this city always rallies.
Absolutely. This is it's a shame that it takes a disaster or an emergency for that to be on display. But you've seen it in your career, Sam. I've seen it in my career, and I've seen it as mayor. This community really rallies around each other. And so, first of all, I want to say to the people who have been affected by this, we're here for you. We have your backs. We're going to do everything we can to support you in the hours and days ahead. Secondly, to the neighbors who stepped up, people who were removing, helping to cut up trees and move them out of the way and checking in on neighbors who had lost electricity. I know stories of people who were, unloading freezers and moving the stuff into their freezers if they still had power. There's just so many great stories like that. So thank you to everybody who has demonstrated true community spirit and neighborliness in the last 24 hours. And finally, I want to say a huge thank you to the crews at Hydro Ottawa, our emergency services personnel, our city staff, everybody who just immediately pivoted yesterday and started responding to the needs in the community, dropped everything, just rolled up their sleeves and got to work. And they've been working around the clock, and we're very, very grateful to them.
And you've been working around the clock as well. And I also want to mention all of these amazing community volunteers, Mayor, that had organized these community parties to celebrate Canada Day.
I know.
I'm thinking about them today.
I know, it's a shame, right? You plan for weeks and weeks and months to host a Canada Day party, and if your Canada Day party was in the morning yesterday, it was fine. But I was planning to go to 4 different events last night, and they all got canceled. And so the fireworks were canceled, not just downtown, but throughout our city. I was planning to watch the fireworks in Kanata and then go to a drone show in Manotick, and both of those were canceled along with a couple of other events. And I know some of them they're pivoting and they're doing something on a different day. I'm going to try to go to Kanata tonight for a fireworks show there, weather permitting. So I hope the community has a chance to have that experience, even though it wasn't last night. It's just a shame that it impacted. If it had happened on a different day, it would not have had so much of an impact on celebrations. People look forward to Canada Day for weeks, and to have their events taken away and their fireworks shows taken away is just really unfortunate. But everybody's adapting. There'll be other opportunities, and I hope there'll be some real fireworks on display. And again, while that's going on, yes, there will be people celebrating our country's birthday. But while that's going on, we're going to continue to work around the clock to support the people who have been affected by this storm.
An important message. Thanks for the updates.
All right. Thank you, Sam.
Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us for the Team Ottawa podcast with Mayor Mark Sutcliffe.